Today I want to talk about something most people try not to think about, and that's aging. Getting older, finally having some gray hair showing up, or seeing those lines in the mirror. Or if you're like me, you got a birthday rolling around. I know people who genuinely get upset about all of that. They try to hide it and even fight it, and then they talk about aging like it's some kind of a loss. And I'm going to offer a perspective that might feel uncomfortable, but I think it's honest. I think being upset about aging is often rooted in forgetting something important. A lot of people went to sleep last night, just like you did, and they didn't wake up today. They had the same expectations for tomorrow, but tomorrow ever came. Not everyone gets the privilege of growing older. Not everyone gets more time to learn how to love and experience, forgive, build, or become somebody. So when we complain about another year added to our life, we're complaining about something that someone else was denied completely. And that should really stop us in our tracks for a moment because aging isn't a punishment. See, I think aging is access. It's access to perspective that you possibly couldn't have had when you were younger, access to lessons that only experience can teach, access to things like deeper patience and deeper empathy, maybe even deeper clarity. And when you're young, you want speed. And when you're older, you want meaning. And that shift alone is beautiful. We also have to understand something else, that time is a currency, not just a concept, but also a currency. And every single day that you're spending it, whether you're intentional or not, you don't save time. You only convert it, and you convert it into choices like relationship, work, community impact, things of those sorts. And so here's a sharp truth for you. Most people don't fear aging, they fear wasted time. And they fear looking back and realizing that they were present for their lives, but they just weren't really engaged in it. And that they were alive, but not really living. Wrinkles aren't the problem. Regret is. Gray hair isn't the problem. Unlived years are. And I think every line on our face tells a story about it. It tells us about the stress that you've survived, the repeated laughter that you've had, maybe some of the losses you've endured, or the growth you've earned. You don't get those marks from just comfort alone, and you get them from participation. And participation in life is the whole point. I think we need to stop trying to look untouched by time and start trying to be shaped well by it. There's also something else aging gives you that youth can't. Pattern recognition. You start to see cycles in your life, behavior patterns, emotional traps, relationship dynamics, even your own blind spots. And that awareness, if you're willing to use it, can change the trajectory of your entire life. But only if you stop resenting the clock and start respecting it. Enjoy the good, yes, but also study the bad, because failure gives you data. Your falls are instructions. Embarrassment can be refinement. Pain is information. Nothing is truly wasted unless you refuse to learn from it. So, instead of asking, how do I stay young? I think the better question for us here is, how do I age well? How do I become more honest, more grounded, more useful, more loving, more connected? Because the goal isn't to really preserve youth. The goal is to mature into somebody you're proud to be. So let me leave you with this. One day, far in the future, you're going to be at a bedside counting down the remaining moments of life. Maybe your own, maybe somebody else's. And what will matter most in those moments won't be how smooth your skin stayed or how long you delayed the visible signs of time. What will matter is this. Did you use your time, or did you only measure it? Because in the end, regret weighs more than age ever will. So, with that, my friends, do me a big old favor and stay the course.